We're trying to do something that hasn't been done before. That's exciting.
The anticipation is high because 63 million people have seen Les Mis in the theatre.
It's finally the right time to be doing this.
The power of the story just makes your heart bloom.
One of the great appeals of Les Mis is it has something for everyone.
You have all these human stories, but it's set among something bigger.
The discovery of compassion, the discovery of love, the discovery of forgiveness are at the centre of this story. I think it's one of the reasons why both the novel and the musical have connected with these huge audiences.
Les Misérables is inherently filmic. Back in 1985, it opened on Broadway to enormous acclaim. Thank God that we did not make the movie 25 years ago because I had no idea who could play these parts on the screen.
It was the hardest movie to cast that I've ever done and will ever do because you have to find that perfect storm of actors who can sing and act.
Finally, we have found an amazing group of actors who are completely at home acting through music.
Look down, don't look him in the eye.
There were two requirements if you're doing it. One was everyone signing up to the idea of singing live. The second was Hugh Jackman existing, because I think if Hugh Jackman didn't exist, I wouldn't have made this film.
The idea of being able to find a Hollywood superstar who can sing and also can look like he has the physical strength to be superhuman, it's kind of unheard of.
Valjean is a fascinating character because at the beginning of Les Misérables, we find him just on his release from 20 years in prison. And he goes on a long journey to live another life and become a good man. Who am I? And constantly underneath it all, he's feeling like he's falling short.
My soul belongs to God, I know. I made that bargain long ago. He gave me hope when hope was gone. He gave me strength to journey on.
As an ex-convict, having never expected forgiveness,
Where was your child?
he discovers love for the first time. But of course, the counter-colour to that is what Javert represents. This is a man who lives his life on the basis of his idea of justice and the law.
So we thought, who's powerful enough to act opposite Hugh Jackman? And Russell Crowe was the obvious choice.
5 years for what you did, the rest because you tried to run. Yes, 24601.
My name is Jean Valjean.
And I'm Javert. Do not forget my name. Do not forget me. 24601.
I couldn't believe my luck to discover that one of the biggest movie stars on the planet was a passionate musical man with a background in it and a fantastic voice.
Russell Crowe, I knew just as he was starting his career doing musicals in Australia. His first love was musical theatre.
It's been massively enjoyable to combine movies and music. Once it was on my radar scope, it was just something that I just really wanted to do.
For Annie Hathaway, this is an extraordinary dream story. Her mother was Fontaine on the American tour. You know, her performance showed the years of yearning in a way.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by. What's tragic about Fontaine is she has an incredible heart.
On your way.
But she lives in a cruel world that breaks her down. I dreamed that love would never die.
She wanted to get her hair cut for real, which I was amazed at.
There's something about the depth of her suffering that gives life to the love that you experience in the rest of the film.
Les Misérables is unusual in that halfway through the movie, you introduce these new heroes who you've never met before. That switch should feel exciting, and luckily Amanda's so mesmerising on screen.
I'm no longer alone now that love in my life is so near. Cosette is choosing between her father and this man who's completely taken her heart over.
A heart full of love
Eddie was my dream casting, but I'd never would have assumed he could sing at this level, and he's turned out to be fantastic.
It's the second you got the part, there was great excitement. And then there's the sort of sick punch-in-the-stomach reality that you've actually got to sing those songs.
His voice is so strong. He can sing so high, but yet so soft. Effortless.
They sang about tomorrow, and tomorrow never came.
With Sam Barks, I thought she'd be really a terrific Eponine for the stage show. Tom came to see one of the performances. Despite everyone else in Hollywood throwing their hat in the ring, she was always someone that we wanted very much.
I was taking my bow in Oliver, and Cameron McIntosh walks on stage.
Our director, Tom Hooper, has chosen her for the movie.
That was the moment, bang, right there, of my life just changed forever.
It couldn't happen to a nicer or more talented girl.
On my own, pretending he's beside me.
Eponine's scenes, they're all emotional because she just watches Marius, the man of her dreams, fall more and more in love with Cosette. It's a relatable character, that's what's so great. Everyone knows what that feels like to have that unrequited love.
Wakey, wakey, we're opening.
The Thénardiers are these funny, larger-than-life, bawdy characters.
Welcome, monsieur. Sit yourself down and meet the best innkeeper in town.
There is a brand of people that do have good fun ripping people off, and those are the Thénardiers.
Monsieur Thénardier is one of the great comic characters in any musical, which is why I wanted Sacha Baron Cohen to play the part.
Seldom do you see honest men like me.
Helena Bonham Carter, she feels to me like an archetypal character from literature that scare children.
Shut your face!
And yet she's also funny.
Or I'll forget to be nice.
Every casting announcement they made, starting with Russell or Anne, Amanda, Eddie, Sasha, Helena, I was like, yes, yes. It was amazing to me.
The actors are kind of evangelical about this project in a way almost more than anything I can ever remember. I mean, it's very, very special.
Camera.
What I really hope is that people see it with an open mind. This is the first time anyone's ever tried it like this.
Every single person is singing every take live.
This has not been done with this kind of consistency in a musical before.
The idea of singing live for every take, for every character, is daunting. But what it gives you is this freedom.
Normally, if you were making an old-school movie musical, as a group of actors, we'd go into a studio, we'd record an album. 2 months later, we'd arrive on set, and they would play the playback, and we would mime alongside it. The problem with that is you have to make all your acting choices 3 months before you've even met the actor you're working with.
You can tell in your bones there's something false or unreal about people singing to playback. What will be exciting for the audience is that singing live has such a profound effect on the power and the realism of this story.
What we've been allowed to do by singing everything live is explore.
I do the soliloquy and it starts with, "What have I done, sweet Jesus, what have I done? Become a thief in the night, become a dog on the run. Have I fallen so far and is the hour so late that nothing remains but the cry of my hate?" Okay, so that's, if you were singing it literally, it'd be like that. I can go out there and some takes I'd be like, "What have I done? Sweet Jesus, what have I done? Become a thief in the night.
Become a dog on the run. Have I fallen so far and is the hour so late that nothing remains but the cry of my hate?"
I can speed it up, I can slow it down, which means I just have to worry about acting it.
My life was a war that could never be won. They gave me a number and murdered Valjean.
The actors have hidden earpieces, and we have the pianist who is playing live into the actors' earpieces, and the actors are setting the tempo rather than a pre-record music track.
I love him, but when the night is over,
ultimately, the piano will be replaced by a 70-piece orchestra.
I love him, but every day I'm learning.
Everything has to be completely natural, so a lot of us are stripping it right back so that you can just live it a lot more.
There are so many questions and answers that somehow seem wrong.
It's so much more powerful. You have complete freedom, complete control. When you're doing a love scene as an actor, you hear the piano in your ears. Now you are the music, and it almost can make you cry.
Cosette, Cosette, this is a chain we'll never break.
What comes with this way of working is you get the fragility of a voice which matches with the emotions of what a character's saying.
Hope was high, life worth living.
When I heard Anne singing that song, which I thought I knew pretty well, suddenly I listened to the lyrics afresh.
I dreamed that God would be forgiven.
There seemed to be something selfish about trying to go for the pretty version.
I had a dream my life.
So I just decided to apply the truth to the melody.
Different from this hell I'm living.
From the very, very beginning, what excited me about doing Les Misérables was doing it live. I felt there was an amazing opportunity to do something that was new and perhaps breaking new ground. It's thrilling to be at the orchestration stage. You can imagine that having worked throughout the shoot with a solo piano, it's like meeting the missing central character from the film, which is the orchestra.
We had an amazing group of musicians who are real artists. Stephen Brooker is a brilliant conductor and has been my head of music for many, many years.
He has Les Misérables in his blood.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by.
I Dreamed a Dream. It's a very famous melody, and hearing her, I think, brilliant rendition was the classic example of where the orchestration that we know can be adapted.
Would never die.
When Annie's performing Dreamed a Dream, from one take to the second take to the third take, she can make different choices about how to shape the flow of her performance.
But the tigers come at night.
So it has to be reorchestrated according to what she's doing, to what she's delivering.
I had a dream my life would be.
And I think to be brave enough, as Claude Michel has been as a composer, not to protect his music. He was very open to change.
From what it seems.
What I enjoy is to see something coming alive, and the performance, the orchestra, the musicians, the creation of something.
The original authors and creators, Karen McIntosh, Claude Michel, Schoenberg and Alain Bublé all wanted me to reinterpret Les Mis to make it work for film. So we give you the world, we give you the mountains of France, we give you the docks where Valjean works, you see the battleships, you see the full scale of Paris in all its majesty, and you go on this physical journey with Valjean.
The brief was, we want a biblical start to the film. It should feel immense. Portsmouth is a working naval base. You don't normally put seawater into that and get people standing in it. So you normally do absolutely the opposite.
As the song went, I dreamed a dream, and I never think it would be this size.
I worked out a very simple rhythm, but to get 150 people to do that all together at the same time, and they had these huge wave machines and water cascading down, they were up to their chests in water, and they couldn't hear the music at all. So I'm on a god mic sort of screaming over the music to make sure that they could keep in rhythm.
And I'm standing on a little stand with a microphone, singing the lyrics, basically, and waving my arms around like some demented windmill. But it was thrilling to see it. I mean, I had no idea how big it was going to be.
This afternoon, I was just remembering the lyrics of What I Have Done, Sweet Jesus, What I Have Done.
Well done, guys, much better.
I think the emotional patches of the musical become more poignant when set against the backdrop of an epic France.
Shooting the very beginning of the film in France was just so sort of spiritually and practically helpful for everybody, because we did feel like we were making a big French epic.
I found myself on the first day, on the first shot, on the top of a mountain with Hugh Jackman. That created a visceral intimacy in that situation as he sung.
Freedom at last, how strange it is.
Because you're in the real locations, because at the beginning of the movie I am standing on top of a mountain and it's -3 degrees and there is steam coming out of my mouth, it feels real.
Each location has been challenging, but we've been able to expand some of the story that the musical on stage just physically wouldn't be able to do. Eve's team made this amazing barricade, and then we've placed it in the middle of this square in Greenwich.
The barricade is massive. We're going to have roughly 250 people on it. It's much bigger than anybody's seen in the show.
The design of the Paris streets was enormously good fun. It took a team of about 100 carpenters, plasterers, sculptors and painters. One of the biggest challenges was trying to get amazing carpenters not to build things with straight lines. That's been my hardest challenge.
The cafe, this is where the students plan their revolution, and I like the idea of their home creating a symbol of the fragility of their revolutionary idea.
The world may be changed in just one burst of light, and what was right seems wrong, and what was wrong seems right.
To work on a set of that scale is absolutely beautiful.
What I was trying to achieve was a combination of extreme realism, but also a certain heightening of reality.
I believe the energy, I believe that people walk these streets every single day. I think it's going to be an incredibly astonishing film to look at.
Tom is a great director. He leaves no stone unturned in his pursuit of excellence.
We knew with this we had to get somebody really special. The amount of films that someone at his level is being offered is tens, maybe hundreds.
When a movie like King's Speech does what it did, for him as a director, there are very few things that you could come up with as a challenge.
Musicals are the Mount Everest of movie making. I don't think there's anything more difficult to pull off. I said, Tom, you don't have to take on a musical, you've just won an Oscar.
I suppose that's the thing that drove him towards it. It's a challenge, you know?
Within me, there's always been an epic filmmaker clamouring to get out, building these colossal sets and using real locations. It turned out to be fantastic.
He's really given himself over to the project. I think he feels really grateful, like we all do, to be doing this.
Les Misérables on stage, it's a colossal and masterful work. But the great thing was that the original authors and creators were hugely supportive.
The genius behind this was Claude Michel Schoenberg's brilliant music, plus the combination of Alain Moubile's and Herbert Kretzmer's original lyrics.
The extraordinary thing about Cameron Mackintosh is the stamina of his passion for Les Misérables. On a daily basis, he manages to reconnect with the emotion it provoked in audiences around the world.
We have loved seeing something that has been so wonderful to us on stage be reinvented into a thrilling cinematic tale.
When I read the novel of Les Misérables, I felt the one thing missing from the musical was the acknowledgement of how central falling in love with little Cosette was to Jean Valjean and what it's like to become a father in an unexpected way.
Suddenly, you're here. Suddenly, it starts.
There is a chapter in the book that I think only a camera can catch.
Cosette is taken away from the Thénardiers, and there is a broken child who's never known love, and there is Jean Valjean who's never known love.
And he realized that he started to feel something for this little girl.
Suddenly, the world seems...
It's a feeling he never had before.
Somehow full of grace, full of light.
And suddenly what Tom was suggesting made serious sense.
On stage, it's very difficult to catch the intimacy of this moment.
So this was a unique opportunity for us to add one or two wonderful cinematic moments. We knew it had to be very simple. One day Herbie came up with this wonderfully simple title, Suddenly. And from there, the song was born.
I'm so afraid of failing you.
The first day that Hugh Jackman did the song, it was a beautiful day. Beautiful day.
There are shadows everywhere,
and memories I cannot share.
I was in a room with probably the most famous people in the theatre world. Claude Michel and Alain and Cameron McIntosh have created a song, and this is the first time I'm singing back to them. I felt unbelievably blessed in that moment.
And everyone went, my God, it seems like it's been composed at the same time than the other songs were composed for this musical.
Suddenly I see what I could not see. Something suddenly has begun. One day more, another day, another destiny.
I've never done a movie where before I'm even finished, I actually feel like this is going to be amazing.
For something like Les Misérables, it has to feel real, it has to feel immediate.
And yet with you, my world is stark.
It's bigger, it's bolder, it has more space, more time, more emotion.
One more day all on my own.
There's an epic level to this. You just have to see this movie in the theatre.
It's Les Mis, the musical, but it gives you so much more.
One more dawn, one more day.
It actually tells a story of the human condition. How do we get through?
It's a movie that just illuminates your soul.